Hello, everybody. We have reached the last day of the month, which means it is my turn to step away from the critiquing table. And I will be back again soon. But it's been a pleasure to be working with all of you. So we've got 3 still images. I got a video. We'll go through the stills first, we'll do the video second. That's how we'll knock it out. Okay, so let's start with Mr. Bean here. I think Mr. Bean's looking great. The one last thing, I was just looking at this. And you can especially see it from the smaller view, like right turn way down. His eyes just feel a little bit glowy. And I think what we need more than anything else is a little ambient occlusion around the edges. So I'm going to mock this in here, but this is going to be a terrible mock in. We'll dig that back a little bit, and I will just draw this in just so you can get an understanding, a rough idea of how this will look if you do this the right way. And again, this is not the right way to do it. I would actually encourage you to just run an ambient occlusion pass, isolate around the eyes, and get it in. I mean, you can also use it with a crypto mat if you want to. You can just isolate the edge, blur it in, and then get it in there that way. But if you want to do it the right way, I would say ambient occlusion pass is the way to go. Oh, blur, Gaussian blur. All right, something like this. And then toning it down. Again, very rough. It would obviously be a little bit warmer than that because it's the eyes and it's all skin and fleshy stuff. So, but I would just do that. Just get a little bit of grounding between the eyelid and the eyeball, just to kind of make the eyes feel set back in there a little bit. They're just a little bit too exposed, and I think you're in a good spot there. All right, look at this night alley. This is looking much, much better. Very much liking where we're heading here. Yeah, I mean, I think you're in a good place. The only thing that I would really do, I think the back here. Oh, switch my colors. I think the back here looks really great. I like a lot of the detail and just like the way the specular highlights hidden the leaves. I think that's kind of dancing around back there in a really kind of magical way. I think I would just, you see how you have this nice kind of glow here? I think it's a little saturated, by the way. I think this should go a little bit more white, but I would like to see something like that back here too. So just something to show exactly where the bulb is. The rest of the stuff's looking good. This patch here on the ground is feeling a little bit bright. Like I said, it actually feels like light spilling out of this window, but there's no, it's bright, it's brighter than this light hitting the ground. And so I would just tone it down by about 50%. And then in here, just try and get see how you have some of that nice sparkly specular stuff in here? Just try and get that in this region at a lesser degree. And so it's not quite as bright, but just giving a little more life into that region. Because other than that, I think it's in really, really good spot. And then the last thing I'll say, if the moon is going to be this intense, I would expect the little bit of sky that we see up in here to be just a little bit brighter. And that's it. That's all I got for this one. Really nice work overall. You've made a lot of progress this month, and I appreciate all the energy and effort that has gone into this. It has not gone unnoticed, so really nice work here. All right, let's move on to the Sir Desmond Rotundus. Okay, so first off, this draws my attention as being a little bit too bright, like right around that rim. The hair feels, again, if we're squinting and we're looking at it, we don't want to draw the attention up there. You get a lot more shaping out of this red glow on the face. The eye, it doesn't feel like it's being influenced by the light. That feels like it's emitting light, like he's got a red laser eye. So in that case, I would tone that back a little bit. I guess you could convince me that it's like that effect when you photograph a cat, that you get like that kind of sparkly eye in a photograph, but it makes the character feel kind of bionic, and I don't think that's where your intention is, but just a heads up there. Yeah, but I think we're getting some good shaping overall. Again, that's a little too bright. These guys are maybe a little bit too bright too. I would tone those down. And then the other thing I would really focus on too is I feel like this hand, this like tilting the hat thing is important to the story. And because the value of the arm here gets a little lost with the background, I would just hit a little rim on here too, probably like all along the nail as well, just so we can really read that silhouette. Maybe even get a little bit on the other side, just because it's important. Like I said, it doesn't matter so much in some of these other areas. Like I'm not asking to put it on the backside of that that horn bit, but or on the ear, I mean. But yeah, bats don't have horns. That's ridiculous. But I think because of the importance of this, you might be in a good spot to do that. And then looking at the jacket vest area, it's a little dusty, like not like super specky, especially this thing, which is usually like a gem or a jewel, but you may have toned that down. So just one thing to consider, maybe tightening up some of the specularity on that to get a little bit of different feel on the different materials, because I'm not feeling much difference between this, and the chest. So just to kind of vary those up a little bit. Other than that, I think it's starting to really, really come together. I mean, the background's looking good. Like it's all coming in. It's just a matter of focusing it. It's like, focusing a photograph. Like, you adjust, you go back, you go forth a little bit, and you're really starting to narrow in. So really excellent work on this guy. All right, let's hop into the animation. Cool. All right. There's no audio here, so just heads up on that. Okay, so my one question is out of the gate. As we get down towards these back few shots, so like I don't I don't know if the red screen is a placeholder, but like the red screen and then the red room are both pretty distracting. And that they're just like it's just like a red screen. It doesn't actually tell us anything. In the red room, like I'm not sure that the red room needs to be there, unless it's crucial in the dialogue, which we don't get here. But I think like visually, because I see the reflections on this window. So it's a window into another room, but then in the next shot, I see people being thrown out of that room. So I'm not quite sure the structure there. For me, I would just make that a dark space and allow it to be like a mystery what's going on in there, and allow the characters to emerge from the darkness. That way we don't have this red light like drawing our attention over to the side on that shot. But this first shot is not easy, and you're doing a really nice job of getting the character to kind of feel like it's moving through the space. What's that popping there on the wire? Yeah, so just watch out for that. It looks like some material popping during the render. Not totally crucial, but you could sneak some depth of field in here. This feels like a pretty telephoto lens. You could sneak some depth of field blur into the background to really get not those guys. Okay, yeah. So I think you need a little depth of field blur just to kind of, because there's some stuff. It's low res right now, so it's tough to see. But my guess is we probably don't want to see back there. I see a weird line going across in a weird little corner. There's no data. There's no like furniture or models or anything back there. So I would even consider darkening that a little more back there. And same thing with this stuff back here. It's like it's not essential. So darkening and letting it go a little bit out of focus is not a problem. Let's get these here. Swings across, steps in the light. It's nice. He gets over to the like. I think the red should actually. I mean, if you're going to keep the screen the bright red color, and totally your call. I think you would actually start to even feel it on him over here, and then as he gets closer, it gets like real influential on him. So although that's pretty good. That's pretty bright there. It seems to actually, even though he doesn't move from the spot, it seems to get brighter from. Let's go back shot, like there to there to there. Like that feels like 3 degrees brighter than, which by the way, degrees of brightness is not a thing. I just made that up. But like versus where he is in this shot, like so I would just kind of sync those up a little bit. And also, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be this bright on this character's shoulder. Although I like it tied together, like a monitor that far away wouldn't shine that bright on him. And then we would get nothing. Yeah, I think just allowing that background to fall into darkness might be the better choice. And that's pretty much all I got for this one for now. Curious to see what it looks like at a higher resolution, but I think it's going to look pretty good. One thing I forgot to mention, I just saw it. This foreground character has black sclera. Actually, they might both. Might want to check that guy too. Go back. Ooh. See, I forget the hotkey to frame by frame through YouTube. Just go back a little bit. Yeah, so black sclera. Unless he's a truly nefarious character, but the Wilford Brimley mustache would imply that he is not. I would say let's go ahead and take those away. Um, I'm almost like this is really dumb. It almost looks like the light source is coming from here and not here, but I think that's fine. I don't really care. I think it's all right. Okay, one more time. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, yeah. It's structurally pretty good overall. Just getting some of those detail stuff cleaned up. All right, everybody. Well, like I said, that is it for me for the month of July. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying your summer. I hope you are getting ready for the fast approaching fall. And I look forward to being back with you all very soon because I will be doing one more round of these before the end of the year. I believe in November, but we will check back in then. All right, but until then, happy lighting, everybody.